All right, and welcome back to the channel. Took a bit of a couple of day hiatus. I just still posted on the Discord. Wasn't really incredible days. I think I had one green day and one red day. But yeah, I went back to the beginning of baseball, at least for the YouTube channel specifically. Went through all my picket, and this is the net unit gain for the season, so not too bad. A lot of plus money bets. I had to kind of factor out a lot of the home run bets that I had taken throughout the year as well, but so yeah, actually been a bit better of a season than I kind of realized. A couple of bad days typically kind of stick around with you more than the good days do. But yeah, again, still kind of fighting a cold, but it's a bit of a smaller slate, so I figured I would come back and try to get back into the routine. In terms of yesterday, it started out great, but I honestly don't know if I've had this much like bad luck in a very long time. This might have been my genuinely my least lucky day ever. Nationals first five, that ends up being relatively sweat free. Thank God that it was a first five bet and not anything else because they completely imploded in the sixth inning, giving up 8 runs. So that ended up being a lot sharper than I thought it would be. Cards first 5 run line also pretty sweat free. Cardinals end up winning the first half 3-0. Mariners or Cubs money line. Really thought they would bounce back. Again, they just got completely stonewalled by Robbie Ray, a pitcher that they've kind of owned historically. Again, not anything from the big guys. Hap, Tucker, Suzuki, 0 for 4 combined, 0 for 10 combined. Yeah, usually when a team only scores 3 against the Cubs at home, it's very unlikely that they lose. But yeah, Cubs just didn't show up for this game. Mariners first 5 run line. They end up going off later on in the game. They end up winning this game outright at the end. But yeah, they just did absolutely nothing in the first half. Yeah, Wu just got completely lit up, gave up 5 runs, and Hogland only ended up giving 2. Phillies money line, 7-0, very sweat free. Again, another first 5 I took. They end up winning this full game. Yeah, man, they had so many runners early on. They just couldn't seem to get them past. They ended up losing the first half 1-0. They got no hit through the first like 6 innings. Mostly all of their base runners were just them getting walks. They just couldn't do anything. Got completely crushed by Cease, which I guess is something with Cease is you don't really know what you're gonna get, but sometimes he just has incredible games. Dodgers team total. I'm not gonna say sweat free because there was not much going on in the first 5 innings of that game, but Dodgers end up winning that game 10-1 comfortably. So that ends up being sweat free in hindsight. The first bullshit game, we have the Mets at the Diamondbacks over 8.5. Again, I basically took this because I knew the bullpens were going to be really taxed. And of course, the first 5 innings, there's no runs, and then there's 9 runs or 8 runs in the 6th to 9th inning. So all we needed was 1 run from the starting pitchers, and it's not like they were like the aces. Like it was Kodai Senga, who was pretty good, and Merrill Kelly, who's been really bad historically. Definitely sucked that they didn't go up any runs early on, but it is what it is. Royals run line, second bullshit game of the day. They're up 2-0. They definitely had so many chances to run up the score throughout the game, but of course they give up. They almost lost this game in the 9th inning, but they of course give up 1 run in the top of the 9th to win 2-1, which is like the worst case scenario because if it goes to 2-3 or 2-2, at least the Royals could maybe give us a chance, the home run walk off, but yeah, they didn't. So that one really sucked. Moving on to the next game, Astros at Brewers first 5 under. Bullshit number 3. Yeah, this game has 3 runs going into the bottom of the 5th. 2 outs, no runners on, and some random guy hits a fucking home run. Just so unlucky. I don't understand. Eric Haas, he's his second home run of the season. He's been really mediocre pretty much all year. He hits a 425-foot perfect home run right down the middle to, of course, get this to a 3-1 game, which, of course, kills the first 5 under, making it a push. Rangers first 5 money line. That ends up being relatively sweat-free. I can't remember what the score was, but no, I guess I wouldn't say it was sweat-free. The Rangers kept getting up, and then the other team kept tying it. But yeah, there's a chance there that at the bottom of the 5th that they blew that as well. Thank God they didn't. Reds at Braves, first five under. Bullshit game of the day 3. Bottom of the 5th, no runners on, 2 outs, only 4 runs. We have at least a push at this point. And then some random guy again on the Braves hits a fucking home run. You really can't make it up. Baldwin, his 3rd home run of the year. Just 400 foot, perfect home run right down the middle. I don't know. I have no words. So 3 games plus 1 where we could have had a lot of chances. Basically 4 games that I think I should have had today that I didn't. Twins run line, they ended up winning 5-2. Not necessarily sweat free, but they were definitely the better team. Tigers and Rockies over 9, sweat free, super sweat free. And then Jays money line, the bullshit game of the day 4 or 6. I lost count. They're up 4-2 going into the 9th, and the bullpen gives up a 3-run walk-off double. So, good job on Hoffman there. I'm a Jays fan, so it kind of double hurt. But, yeah, that brings us to 7-7-1 on the day, which is about minus 0.51 units. I also went 0-5 on the home run bets I take at 1/2 or 1/10 of a unit, so that kind of sucked as well. So, overall, pretty shitty day. It really felt like this could have been an incredible day. Like the way that some of these games lost. I think the only games that felt like they had no chance was honestly just the Mariners game. Like every other one felt like it really could have hit, but whatever. It is what it is. It's baseball. So yeah, let's get into the small slate we have for today. All right, heading on to game number 1, we have the Orioles heading on the road to play the Twins. Now you could argue the Twins are due to start, getting runs, especially on the road. That seems to have been their kind of their weak spot. Again, they're a team that can hit righties really well at home, but for whatever reason on the road, they've been terrible, like really bad. If you look at their team away versus righties on the season, Orioles are bottom 10 offense. And if you look at them over the last 14 days, they're the worst baseball team on the road versus righties. Like worse than Colorado, which is really impressive. In the last 30 days, still, they're worse than Toronto, Colorado. They just can't hit righties on the road for whatever reason. Now they're going to be up against Bailey Ober, who started out looking really rough to start off the year. He had 8 against Cardinals. He gave up 8 hits, 8 earned runs in 2 innings. That's kind of completely shitting on his ERA because he's only given up 1 earned run in his last 3 starts. He's went at least 6 innings in 5 starts in a row. His K rates are up. He barely walks anybody. He hasn't given up a home run in any of his last 3 starts. He's playing really well, and he seems to get out of, maybe he gives up a hit per inning, but he gets out of them pretty easily. His whip could definitely be improved upon, but at home, he's a sub-3 ERA. He's playing really, really well. On the other side, we have Dean Kremer, who's kind of known to just kind of be a meatball guy. He had a really good start last game after 2 terrible starts. Again, he's basically only had one good start this year, and that was last game against the Royals, who again are the worst team in the baseball against right-handed pitchers. So obviously he was going to have a really good day, but in that game he had 1 walk and only 2 strikeouts. It's really not sustainable getting outs, especially 7 innings when you're not striking people out. This guy sucks, and I think he's going to blow up here. He's not at home for this game like he was in his good starts. He has an 8 ERA this year on the road. And this is a Twins offense that hits righties really, really well. So I'm going to be on the Twins' first 5 run line at minus 110. Again, Twins are a top 10 offense the last 14 days. Top 10 offense versus righties at home on the season. Orioles just can't hit it. So we're getting the better bats, the better home team, and a Baltimore team for whatever reason can't hit on the road. So I think Twins can find some success here early on. And win this game, this half 3-1, 4-1 kind of stuff. Anyway, let's get on to the next game. All right, moving on to the second game of the day, we have the Rangers heading on the road to play the Red Sox. Now, these are 2 teams I can't really figure out. But again, the Rangers, I feel like their offense is really coming together now. Now they got Seager back. A lot of their shitty guys are starting to get, Adelis Garcia hit a home run yesterday. Jonathan Heim hit a double. Josh Jung hit a double. I think a lot of their end of the lineup guys are starting to hit. Corey Seager is still not nearly like as good as he was 2 years ago, where he had like that MVP quality standard of a season. But I think he's going to start hitting. And again, they got Jack Leiter. I don't think he's that good. He had 1 really bad start this year. The other starts have been pretty decent, but again, he doesn't go more than 5 innings. That's the furthest he's ever gone in a game. He had one really good start again at Cincinnati, back when Cincinnati could not hit anybody, no matter who they were playing at home, especially righties. Before that, he had a decent start against the Red Sox. He still gave up 5 hits in that game. So I think the Red Sox second time around, after getting basically only one earned run off him, it's really tough for a pitcher to see a lineup again. It's usually much better for the team to know kind of what he's throwing and know what to expect because they've been there before. So I think the Red Sox will get some runs. And Bray and Bello, he's been fine. Again, he's not a bad pitcher at all, especially at home. He's been really good. But I think he's due to regress. He had a 4.81 ERA at enough the year last year. And now he's against a lineup that is really starting to get their mojo back. If you look at this Texas Rangers offense, they've been a top 10 offense on the road versus righties over the last 14 days. And the best offense over the last 7 days versus righties. So I think they're really starting to get it going. I think both these teams find success. Weather is going to be blowing inwards, but it's going to be warm, and the Red Sox ballpark again with the big red giant on the left side. I think they're going to find some runs today. So I'm going to be on the over 9 here at minus 110. Moving on to game number 3, we have the White Sox heading on the road to play the Royals. So I got screwed on the Royals red line, so I refuse to bet it again. I think I'm just going to be on the under. It just seems like these gate teams don't score a ton of runs. And Davis Martin, despite having a really bad xFIP and ERA, he's actually been kind of good. Like, he's 1-3, but he has a 3.5 ERA. He gives up a decent amount of hits, but his strikeouts are decent. He doesn't walk a ton. Especially last game, it seemed like he really figured it out. He doesn't give up that many home runs. Again, he's had some really good starts. He played the Minnesota, only 3 hits. He played Athletics, only 3 hits. And he just had a decently rough start against Houston. But again, he only gave up 3 earned runs in 5 innings against a pretty decent Houston team. Obviously, Houston's been kind of bad this year, but still. On the road, again, he has a sub-4 ERA at home and on the road. I think he's decent. I really do. And the Royals still, on paper, one of the worst offenses for right-handed pitching in baseball, even over the last 2 weeks. Yes, they've been hitting more, but half the time they're getting runs off of the left-handed bullpen. So obviously Chris Bubik's still elite. He's been incredible. He just came off probably one of his best starts. 5 innings, 3 strikeouts, only 4 hits, no earned runs. God, he's not a huge strikeout pitcher, but he's been really solid. He's had four starts already where he's given up 0 runs. I really like him. And again, the White Sox still have a really questionable lineup. They're actually not terrible against lefties, but this is a high-quality lefty in Chris Bubik, who's been elite. So I think it's going to be tough for either team to get a lot of runs in this game. Weather, again, is going to be blowing in at 10 miles per hour. It's going to be kind of chilly at 60 degrees. Mostly clear, but again, Royals Ballpark, not necessarily known to be a hitter's park. So you have 2 decent starting pitchers, bullpens that are relatively rested. I'm going to be on the under 8.5 here at minus 125. I don't know. It just seems like this AL East division just, for whatever reason, don't score a lot of runs. Without the home run ball, I just don't see either of these lineups piecing together hits very frequently. So give me the under 8.5 at minus 125. Heading on to game number 4, we have the first game of the doubleheader between Detroit and Colorado. I usually don't bet both doubleheader games, but I'm going to for this one. For game number 1, I'm actually going to be surprisingly on Rockies' first 5 plus half a run. I think they have a decent chance here to find some success. Has Casey Mize been really good this year? Yeah, he's been solid. But again, he's given up 7 hits, 8 hits, 7 hits, 4 hits. And he's kind of got lucky with his earned runs he's given up. And again, when you're giving up hits in this stadium, they typically, singles become doubles, doubles become home runs. I think it is a bit tougher. And again, if you look at what he's struggling against, he's really bad against right-handed pitching or hitting. .293 batting average versus righties, .305 last year. And again, this is a Rockies team that, especially if the switch hitters decide to stay on the right side, there's only one lefty on Colorado, which is Ryan McMahon, who still is a danger to hit a home run. Especially when he's the only lefty, it might kind of be a wild card for Casey in terms of forgetting how to mix up his pitches. So I think Colorado is going to get to Casey, and Kyle Freeland has a much better xFIP than Mize does. He's been probably their best pitcher. He's 0-4 on the year, and he's been kind of struggling, giving up 10 hits and 7 hits in his last few games. But again, I think he's due to have a really good start. And if you look at his stats, he's been really bad against righties, but really, really good against lefties. And this is a Detroit team, in my opinion, most of their most dangerous bats, Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, Colt Keith, even Trey Sweeney, these are all lefties. Yes, there are some good righties on that lineup. Gleyber Torres, Spencer Torkelson, Javier Baez, still an elite team. But again, I think there's a good chance here that Freeland at home finds some success. Mize struggles in the elevation. Again, with game one of this game, I wouldn't put it past having this Rockies team find some success, especially after they blew the game yesterday. I think they're going to be a little bit motivated here to keep this game close until, of course, the bullpen comes in and implodes, as they typically do. All right, and then game number 2 of this series, I'm definitely going to be on the over on this one, over 9.5 at -115. Tanner Gordon was really bad last year. I don't think he's any good. He's coming up from the AAA. He hasn't necessarily pitched very well, even in the minor leagues. He's given up his last 4 starts, 7 hits, 10 hits, 5 hits, 5 hits. Not a crazy strikeout guy. Walks are bad. I think he's going to struggle here in this Rockies ballpark. He has played a few starts last year, and his last 2 starts last year, he gave up 8 hits and 10 hits, and that wasn't even at home. That was on the road. So I think he's going to struggle. I don't think he's any good, especially against this Detroit team, especially if they have a chance at losing the first one. I think they're still going to keep in a lot of their good hitters, and I do like a lot of their secondary hitters as well if they do decide to switch up their lineup. Again, the game yesterday was pretty tight. They used a lot of bullpen arms, and now I think they're going to use a decent amount of bullpen arms in the first game, as I do expect it to be more close than this game is going to be. And again, Kiter Montero is probably the Tigers' worst pitcher. 0-1, 6 ERA. He just got completely lit up on May 2nd in AAA. He has not had a really good start yet this year. I think he sucks. And again, they're probably going to keep him in because they're going to be, trying to figure out their bullpen. So again, weather is going to be even better for runs in the second game. Plus 31% on Ballpark Pal. 2 bad pitchers. Bullpens are going to be used up. These bad pitchers are going to stay in longer. And yes, it's the second half of a back-to-back. Typically, sometimes it's tough. But I do think these hitters are going to, take advantage of this weather, and they're going to have a lot of fun. So I'm going to be on the over 9.5 in the second game. Moving on to the next game, we have the Phillies heading on the road to play the Rays. This is going to be a good game. But again, Ryan Pepiot has really been bad this year. Again, Jesus Luzardo, probably one of the better pitchers on this Phillies team. He even had a really, 2 really bad starts this year. We just gave up 8 hits and 9 hits. And he only gave up 3 earned runs in both those games. His strikeouts are crazy. His walks are honestly not that bad considering he usually goes at least 6 innings. And he's been really good this year. 2 ERA at home, 1.6 on the road. I think he's going to find a lot of success here against his Tampa Bay team that cannot hit lefties. That's kind of their biggest downfall this year. And on the other side, we have Ryan Pepiot, who's been bad at home, 4.8 ERA at home. He's really struggling against righties. And again, historically, he's been actually pretty good against lefties, which is kind of my only concern here in this game because a lot of the big bats on Phillies are lefties. But Trey Turner just had a home run yesterday. I think he's going to have some success. And Alec Baum and Real Muto are really starting to actually hit the ball and get walks. So, again, I think the Phillies bullpen has actually looked really good lately. I think it's going to be more well-rested here than the Rays is, who had to use a decent chunk of bullpen arms yesterday. Again, I just like their lineup a little bit more. So I'll be on the Phillies here at -135 on the money line. All right, heading on to the next game, we have the Reds heading on the road to play the Braves. Now, if you look at Nick Lodolo, he just had a really bad start on May 3rd, 5 days ago. 5 innings pitched, 10 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, 2 walks, only 4 strikeouts. But the last time he had a really bad start, and his last worst start was against Miami, where he had 7 hits, 2 walks, only 4 strikeouts, and only went 5 innings. The game after that, he had his lights out performance where he went 7 innings, 9 strikeouts, only 2 hits. So I think he's going to bounce back today really well after a really, really tough start. And again, he's historically been incredible on the road. Last season, he had a 6 ERA at home, 3.5 on the road. The season before that, he had a 9 ERA at home, 2.25 on the road. And this year he's hovering around a 1 ERA on the road. So we're getting him back in a spot where he likes to be. I think he's going to find a lot of success. And Schwellenbach has been pretty underwhelming in his last 5 starts, giving up 7, 6, 8, 7, 8 hits. Again, 12, 15, 17 earned runs and only 20 innings pitched. He's been really bad. But again, we're getting him at home where he has pitched historically much better. And I think he's going to find some success here. I really do. I think he still has decent xFIP numbers. I think he's due to lock back in. He has to pitch against some really tough lineups, and that's kind of where a lot of his bad starts came from, a lot of which came from home runs in a lot of his bad games. And again, weather in this game is going to be not phenomenal. It's going to be minus 3% runs on Ballpark Pal, which is typically pretty good. It's better than more runs. And again, if you look at the weather, it's going to be blowing right to left. It's going to be relatively warm, but the precipitation is definitely going to be raining a little bit, which does typically screw up with people. That's why I'm on the first 5 under, because I don't want this game to cancel and then not get the cash out. But winds blowing right to left historically leads to significantly less runs than any other wind pattern. So give me the first 5 under here at minus 135. I typically don't see this kind of first 5 number, especially on an 8 total. But on FanDuel, I got it at minus 135, so I'm going to take it, get the extra half a run. All right, moving on to game number 8. We have the Jays heading on the road to play the Angels. Now, I fucking hate the Jays. I'm never betting them again. I genuinely, until they win like at least 3 games in a row, like this team is just pathetic. And Hoffman sucks. We need a real closer, genuinely. But yeah, we have 2 really good pitchers. We got Chris Bassett, Jose Soriano. We got 2 pitchers that cannot hit right or are elite against lineups that have struggled against righties. If you look at this Jays team on the road versus right-handed pitching on the season, they are the 2nd worst offense. They cannot hit righties, especially on the road. They're bottom 5 offense in general against righties, so doesn't mean that they're much better at home either. And the Angels also not great. Bottom 5 offense against right-handed pitching. At home versus righties improves a little bit, but they're still a bottom 15 offense against righties. Bassett's been really good this year. Kind of hanging around the 2 to 3 ERA spot. He's historically been better on the road, especially last year. I think he's going to find success. He's really good against right-handed pitching, and again, most are hitting, and that's most of the Angels lineup. And then if you look at the other side, Soriano, who is a bit of a weird pitcher, but he just came off a really, really good start. 6 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts against a really, really good team in Detroit with a lot of lefties that typically you think would screw them. But I think he's getting his confidence back. He's been a bit bad at home, which is kind of my only concern. But the Jays just can't hit anybody that I think is going to really impress. His numbers are kind of all over the place. 2023, he sucked at home, or was really good at home. Then last year, he was bad at home. Who really knows how bad he really is? But again, I don't like this Jays lineup right now. For whatever reason, they can't hit. I have no words for it. But yeah, I think the Jays still have a couple of decent bullpen arms. I think both these teams will find some success on the pitching staff wise. So give me the under 8.5 here at minus 115. All right, and to wrap us up on the last game of the day, which on paper is one of my favorites, it's going to be the Dodgers heading on the road to play the Diamondbacks. Now, Yamamoto has been insane. I think he's the only pitcher who's pitched, at least, how many starts has he had already? 7 starts. And he's one of the only pitchers that still has a sub-1 ERA and a sub-1 whip. He's been insane. His last start was incredible. He gave up 0 earned runs, 6 innings pitched, only 2 walks, 1 hit against an Atlanta team. Again, the most he's ever given up was 2 earned runs. And I think he's probably one of the best pitchers, if not a top 3 pitcher in baseball. Like, he is really, really, really good. And again, he's a 0.4 ERA on the road this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona does not get a single run off of him. I think it's going to have to be a home run. That's kind of really the only way you can get them. And again, he has not given up a home run this year on the road, only at home. So I think he's going to maybe give up 1 run, most likely give up 0, if I'm being honest. And then Brendan Pfaadt, who just came off one of his worst starts, back-to-back games, giving up 9 hits. He's really been struggling. And this is a Dodgers lineup that you don't really know what you're going to get from them, especially on the road. They're one of the worst offenses versus righties. I can't expect that to be that much, consistent for that much longer. It's gonna be a warm day tomorrow. 77 degrees. Sorry, 87 degrees, clear. This is like prime hitters. They just, that's where you're feeling good. And again, Yamamoto, I think he's gonna be fine. Brandon Fod, just not only has he been bad lately, he's really bad against the Dodgers. After 69 at bats against the Dodgers, he's given them over a 1 OPS, a .348 average, a slugging of over .600. Terrible, just really, really bad. I think the Dodgers are going to want to improve their offense after how bad they looked yesterday. Yeah, it was 10-0, but their first 5 innings were really bad. I think Pafad is a lot worse of a pitcher than what they had to deal with yesterday. Yeah, give me Dodgers first 5 on the run line at -110. I have this model that's a 1.5 score lead going into the 6th. So getting only half a run here, obviously they have to win by 1, but I think there's a ton of value. I just don't really want to dip into the bullpen action. The Dodgers have this really weird tendency that if they score a ton in like the first few innings, they don't do anything for like 6 innings. But they historically always get like at least 2 runs minimum in the first 5, other than yesterday. So again, give me the Dodgers on the first 5 on the run line in this game. All right, and that's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm gonna try to get back into the routine. I've just been really quite busy, and these videos do take sometimes a little longer than I want them to take, especially when it's like a 15-game slate. Sometimes it's like 2 a.m, and I just can't stomach myself to do it, especially when I'm not feeling well. But again, I think I can get back into the routine. Worst case, I might just go over my 5 favorite games every day, and then just kind of post up every other game that I'm going to be betting at the end, if it ever comes down to the time where I don't have a ton of time. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Cheers.